don't know if y'all sent the memo out or not, but we jumped to where we needed to be very, very fast. So it's all good. We in here. All right. So once again, let me start by opening up this, lecture with the right spiritual energy. It's imperative that we always do that. So first, let me start by saying peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace, meaning positive energy, always creates elevation. I'm sending the deepest of insight to all our peers in the university, all the elders, those 65 and older. We always start with the elderly first because that's just respect. They've been in a physical vessel down here in this realm a lot longer than we have, so it's always imperative to give the elderly the respect first. And I like to go to the next in line, which is my peers, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Sending nothing but the deepest of insight to you all, you and your families. I know a lot of y'all sitting here with y'all kids, y'all other cousins. Like I say, whole family sitting here like it's the Cosby Show. So that's why I like to keep it fun and light. And I have my own way of teaching, which is, the ancestors bestowed everything God do upon me to help us, in this revolution. So that's what I do. I just try to stay down to earth and be myself. And I appreciate y'all for allowing me to be myself while teaching and not expecting me to come in with no motherfucking suit on, shit like that, because that's not who I am. All right. However, if an individual can see past, get past, the way I initially look, then they are able to receive a lot of in-depth downloads, which you should take and expound upon yourself. You are to expand this information because all this information that's being presented is only to help you remember. Okay, so you're supposed to take it and build upon it. That's what I want. That's what I hope that you all are doing. I believe that in the abyss of my soul, I really do. For those who don't know what abyss mean, that just mean the depths, the darkest, the deepness, the deepest part of something that's called the abyss. So for those who don't know what that word means, because we're not all on the same level. Some people got big dictionary, big vocabularies. Some don't. So it's imperative that we stay, breaking things down for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, I want to say welcome to all the new members of the university. I seen y'all was signing up today. Y'all sending me texts and emails. So definitely welcome home. And here we exit Earth into reality. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said in the bio on IG, exit Earth into reality. So welcome to the university. Feel free to post in the forum, videos, information, downloads. Feel free to mingle, exchange numbers because we know we in game. So everything is coming down, and I don't have to tell you that. You see it. You see it at your own. And that's what's a good thing about this moment in time that we are in. Many of us are seeing it for ourselves, which is called insight, and that's what I love better than information is insight. We could talk all day, but do you really see it for yourself? That's what is most important, and that you're not just sitting in this university, you listening, and then you're not implementing. I mean, you can't implement everything overnight. We all on different levels. We all at different spaces in our spiritual journey. Some of us are a little farther along than others. Some of us are just starting. It don't matter how far along you are, or it don't matter if you just started yesterday. The point is that we all on the journey. All right, we on the journey, and we on it together. It's unity, togetherness. We going back to nature. We going back to how it was anciently. You heard the music I was playing? That's our ancient music. All right, at that point we was in together, one with nature. We had a deep connection to nature. That's what we getting back to. We got to get back to talking to the bees and the insects and the animals, and the elements. And that's where we going. The planet is rising in frequency. So we in a good place right now. All right, we in a great place right now. To the blue crystal babies, those in the university 21 and under, we appreciate y'all deeply, very, very deeply, because it's always going to be about the youth. It's going to always be about, because y'all represent, y'all at the end of our generation, but y'all ushering in a whole new generation. So we making it, we are the generation, meaning those born between the ages of 0 right now, or months old, all the way up to 72. All right, we are the ones that's ushering in change. We are the chosen ones. All right, even those of us who aren't awoken yet, they were chosen, but then some of us come down here and because we don't have high dark matter energy levels like others, after they put that nanobot technology in us via injection as kids, some of us never recover from that. So that's what you got to understand too. If you were able to recover from that and become woke and, you know, make things happen, even gain any form of success in this matrix because you wasn't designed to, that just means you have, you know, like I always say, you have high dark matter energy levels. All right, so you give yourself a round of applause for that. You know, you clap yourself up, pat yourself on the back, and you stay humble. You stay humble, and you keep teaching. You like I say, every room is different. When y'all walk in this room, y'all students. But guess what? Sometimes when y'all walk in this room, y'all still the teacher. I'm learning from y'all as well. You walk in other rooms, you might strictly be the teacher. All right, so that's the duality. You know, these paradigms or realities, we should call them, are, you know, they are all built around numbers and possibilities, meaning that there's no limit to nothing is definite. You know what I'm saying? Everything is infinite, so it can always change based upon the user. We are the users because we are the creators of the game. As long as you remember that, you're gonna always be ahead and be where you need to be, especially as we move deep into this spiritual warfare. All right. So today, right, I want to talk about Henry Ford. I have him pulled up on Wikipedia. If you want to read along, like the pastor used to do your ass, feel free to read along the congregation. That damn your ass, pull your Bible out. All right, we don't do no Bibles in here. We ain't gotta pull no Bible out, but you can pull your tablet out, your iPad, an extra phone if you have it, if you want to, just to keep up with what's going on. Or you could just sit right there and listen, because that's what you enrolled for you not to do shit but sit there and listen and learn. So you don't have to do no extracurricular activities, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to, but for those who want to keep up with what I'm saying, you know. All right, so we're going to read about Henry Ford. Now, like I said, we got a lot of blue crystal babies in here, so y'all might just know about Ford, the car. But yes, the car Ford, like Ford Focus and the other different cars that Ford is known for. They got a bunch of famous cars. Let's see. Let's see. You know, they got the Mustang. All right, that's one of their most popular cars. It's like the Mustang. All right, but then they got the Fiesta, the Model Ts, the Taurus, the Explorers, you know, the Explorer SUVs. Okay, so all of that comes from Ford, the company. All right, and let me go back to Wikipedia. So all of that comes from Ford, the company. Now, every company has a luxury car. So Ford's luxury car is the Lincoln. Okay, Lincoln is under Ford. Okay, so you do your Lincoln Town car, the Lincoln Navigator. Ford, that's all. That's the luxury model of Ford. All right, so what you got to know is about Ford was invented or founded by a human being named Henry Ford, who was actually a reptilian posing as a human being. All right. Well, I mean, not reptilian. He was a Pleiadian. All right. So Henry Ford was a Pleiadian, and he's actually still here on the planet right now under disguise of he was just formerly going by Prince Andrew. Okay. Now, I'm going to dive deeper into that in a second. All right. I want to pull something up. All right. So, all right. Let me pull something up. All right. So we back on Wikipedia. So before we dive deep into Henry Ford, let's just read a little bit about what they said on Wikipedia. I'm not gonna read too much. I just want to give y'all a quick little synopsis, and then we're gonna go clean in. to what's really going on with him. Because, you know, they're not going to never tell you the real on Wikipedia and Google. But I just want to give you a synopsis, quick little synopsis of who he's supposed to be. All right, Henry Ford, born July 30th of 1863, passed away April 7th, 1947. He was an American industrialist, business magnate, and founder of the Ford Motor Company. Okay, like I was telling you. He is also the chief developer of the assembly line technique of mass production. All right. So when I used to work at jobs, I love working on assembly lines because I like working with my hands. So for those who don't know what the assembly lines is, like the blue crystal babies, those 21 and under, whenever you work at a factory, they have an assembly line where it's a bunch of people working in there and they're working to get the products created. These are the people that's boxing the products, taping the products, weighing the products, bagging the products. You know, basically what a mass production takes place at, all companies have an assembly line, okay? So it's normally filled with with men and women, or gods and goddesses, either or. You know what I'm saying? I used to love working on an assembly line when I worked at Franklin Fueling Systems in Madison, Wisconsin. We had an assembly line there, and it was dope. You know what I'm saying? So this back when I was working in the Matrix, all right, before I started working for myself. But anyway, the creator of this assembly line whole technique is Henry Ford, or so they say. All right. Now, by creating the first automobile that middle class Americans could afford, all right. So basically, he converted the automobile from an expensive curiosity into an accessible convenience that profoundly impacted the landscape of the 20th century. So this is what they're telling you on Wikipedia about him, okay? So basically, they're saying like he's the founding father of the production line, the assembly lines. All right. He created the Ford Motor Company. All right. And by him he created the first car that was affordable for the masses. All right. So basically, he made cars more popular with that because they had cars out then, but very few could afford them. All right. All right. So let's keep going on what they say about him real quick. His introduction of the Ford T model automobile revolutionized transportation and American industry. All right. As the Ford Motor Company owner, he became one of the richest and best known people in the world. He is credited with Fordism, all right, which is the mass production of inexpensive goods coupled with high wages for workers. All right, so Fordism is what you see today. When motherfuckers going to work, most people trying to get a high wage. And the higher the wage, the more work that company going to expect you to do, or the more proficient they're going to expect you to be at your job, right? Well, he is the creator of that whole ideology, that whole mindset, okay? Mm-hmm. Ford had a global vision with consumerism as the key to peace. So consumerism is how these Fortune 500 companies look at you, your family, me and my family. They don't see people. They don't see human beings, and they don't see gods and goddesses. They see a bunch of fucking sheeps and consumers. All right. And how do we consume? We consume through the TV. We consume through radio. We consume through watching the movies. We consume through going to the sports games. We consume through participating in buying video games. We consume when we wearing the cloth. We consume when we eating. We consume a lot of different ways. That's all consumerism. So this is why Xbox is able to market shit to us and know we're going to buy it, because we are the consumers. This is why any beauty line products, the goddesses, where you are just a consumer to the owner of that product. All right. So, and anybody that goes into business understands that too. When you have your own business, you know that, okay, you have a market, but then you have consumers. Okay. You have to know your market, and you have to know who's going to consume whatever product it is that you have. If you put the wrong product, you have a good product, but if you place it in the wrong market, then nobody's going to consume it. So now you just make this $10,000 investment into this company or this dream you got, or this $2,000 investment or $300, $400, $500 investment, whatever you invest in, and you turn around and you get nothing back from that because you had a good product, but you placed it in the wrong market. So the market you placed it in doesn't have any consumers that are eager to purchase or consume your product. So now your business crashed. All right. So that's what consumerism is. All right. But he was the one who targeted that ideology. All right. His intense commitment to systematically lowering costs resulted in many technical and business innovations, including a franchise system that put dealerships throughout North America and major cities on 6 continents. Ford left most of his vast wealth to the Ford Foundation and arranged for his family to permanently control it. All right, so Ford was also widely known for his pacifism during the first years of World War I and for promoting anti-Semitic content including the protocols of the Elders of Zion throughout his newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, and the book International Jew. Now, the protocols of Zion, of the Elders of Zion, that's a whole different subject, a whole different topic for a whole different live, because it's very long and very deep. But we'll talk about it a little bit. We're going to touch upon it, and we're going to touch up on why he was with it. All right? All right, so anti-Semitic. What are the Semites? All right, the Semites are like anybody that's basically a human being stock. So let me click on anti-Semitic for you to give you a better breakdown. All right, so check it out. The Semitic people. All right, for example, Hitler would have been deemed anti-Semitic with what he was doing in the Holocaust. All right, so anybody that speaks out against the human being stock, all right, who are considered the Semites or the Semitic people, all right, they are deemed anti-Semitic. Malcolm X was deemed anti-Semitic. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that this is bullshit when they saying that he was attacked for promoting anti-Semitic content. All right, so that's really just a play on your brain to confuse the fuck out of you more. All right, I'm gonna break all this down. You know, I'm gonna get deep into it. I got y'all. I'm just reading off what they said about him real quick. All right. All right. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So basically, we know that Henry Ford was a human being that created the Ford Motor Company. All right, and that he was personally responsible for the work week. All right. So the way we work today, the way individuals work, how you work 5 days a week and you get 2 off days and you work 40-hour weeks. Well, he created that whole mindset. Okay. Now, in Google, they tell you on Wikipedia, in addition to raising his workers' wages, Ford also introduced a new reduced work week in 1926. The decision was made in 1922 when Ford and his co-worker described it as a 6 8-hour days given a 48-hour work week. So that, and originally in 1922, when they first started hiring major employees for these factories that was building, with Ford being one of the leading producers of these factories, it was required for people to work 6 days a week, 8 hours a day. All right. But in 1926, Ford changed it to 5 8-hour days, making it a 40-hour work week. Okay. The program apparently started with Saturdays being designated as a work day before becoming a day off sometime later. On May 1st, 1926, the Ford Motor Company's factory workers switched to a 5-day, 40-hour work week, with the company's office workers making the transition the following August. All right. Now let's see why. They say Ford had decided to boost productivity, as workers were expected to put more effort into their work in exchange for more leisure time. So what does that mean? Basically, originally, they required you to work more hours. All right. Originally, slaves were required to work sun up to sundown. But when they started creating these factories, they was already pushing us out of chain slavery, and they was pushing us into these new plantations called jobs, which Henry Ford was one of the leading productions in that. All right. All through Detroit, Michigan, and spread out throughout the country. All right. That's why the Midwest to this day has so many factories. You know what I'm saying? There's so many abandoned factories. Like Detroit was a factory town. General Electric and Ford. There were so many companies there. Ohio, India, a lot of these places was like that. And then a lot of these jobs moved out. So that's why it's poverty stricken throughout the Midwest, like it is now in certain cities. All right. But you have to understand that the whole reason Ford did this, the whole reason you work 8 hours a day now is because of Henry Ford. Okay. The whole reason there's a work schedule is because of Henry Ford. All right. Because before it was that, he was working sun up to sundown. Even after they freed the slaves, niggas still had to work sun up to sundown just to get some kibbles and bits. All right. So when they wanted us, there was a mind fuck. They was trying to manipulate us to believe, or our ancestors into believing, that it was change. So what better way to bring change than to say, hey, you don't have to go to work, but it's an option. So a lot of our ancestors started going to these factories. They're not going to tell you on Wikipedia that the majority of people that worked in them factories was black people. They just don't say workers. Just to make you think it was human beings. Listen, a lot of them human beings didn't know how to fucking work. They was fresh out of slavery. We talking 1922. We was just in physical shackles 33 generations, 4 decades prior. Okay? We 2 decades into the 20th century, 1922. So 30 years before that, niggas was in shackles. So majority of these human beings, they didn't know how to work and they didn't like work. So when they did try to come into the factories, guess who was outworking them? We was. Because we was fresh from working sun up to sun motherfucking down. On top of that, we are still the ancient beings. Okay? We are still the ancient beings, naturally. So our life force was used. Now, Henry Ford, he's a smart ass motherfucking honky. That's what I call him. Even though he's a Pleiadian. We're going to get to that. Because what he did was, the reason he came up with a slicker way to enslave us. Oh, you know what? Y'all ain't gotta work sun up to sundown. It's 6 days.
Peace to the gods and goddesses of the planet God. Peace, meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Peace to all the high vibration human beings. Peace to the ancestors for working through me. If you wish to see this full video, please head over to our official online website, www.theuci.online, and click on the video tab. Also, you can click, the shortcut to this video is to click the link below. It will be in the pinned comment in the comment section below. You can click the link and it will take you directly to this video so that you can watch this full video. Please be sure to continue to spread the message via social media. Use the hashtags on TikTok, Rashad Jamal, hashtag free Rashad Jamal. Be sure to continue. Thank you for everyone that's donating to the university and for those who are subscribing to the online website. And to purchase official crystals, please visit the website as well. I love you all. I'll be home soon. Now we rise. I leave as I come. Ashe.